What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-A-Lago of America, of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you this evening?
We're doing great. We had one of the great, as you know, one of the great Patreon perfect 10 episodes of all time this week. So, we're feeling great. We're in a great country. We're in a great country where free people get to be free. And we're Patreon patriots, support your president. So there's nothing other than Sleepy Joe destroying our country. There's nothing really to be too upset about.
Well, I want to get right into it. The country is divided once again over the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. A lot of people think he should have been convicted. A lot of people think that they made the right decision. A lot of people were upset with the judge. Of course, there's nothing in America now that makes everyone happy. We talked about a little bit on the Perfect 10 episode, but you are pleased. You come out in the press, you were pleased that Kyle Rittenhouse was not guilty.
No, and I'm worried about this, the car, this car that ran over people in Wisconsin. Did you see this story?
I did not.
Well, okay, it was breaking news yesterday. It was sort of in the papers, sort of a big deal. I'm just wondering if the car is going to be claiming self-defense. It was scared for its life and it ran over these people. But it turns out we just got intel the driver was African-American. So hopefully he gets the strong death penalty. As far as Kyle Slaughterhouse, this is a nice young man. Okay, he's a nice guy. And I look forward to working with him. I hope he shows up to the GOP convention in 2024. I think he would give a great speech. And I think it's called justice. I wish I could get treated as fairly as Kyle Slaughterhouse got treated. He got a fair chance, and when you're treated fairly, good things happen. I was not treated fairly, and they stole the election, and now they're trying to do all sorts of really disgraceful things to me. But no, we're very happy for Kevin, and we hope he's we're going to say strong prayers for him, and hopefully maybe he joins our great military or police, and puts his strong talents from murdering and maiming people to patriotic use.
Mr. President, this car that ran into people in Wisconsin, do you think the infrastructure bill was responsible for this as well?
Well, okay, you know what, tech stuff? It's about time they sent me a tech stuff guy who knows what the hell we're doing here. This is exactly what I warned people about. Do you see it? Excuse me. We warned, me and the other tech stuff guy who we fired last week. We even put out what they call an audiogram. This is when you put out like a picture with the squiggly lines to tell people kind of the highlights. We put this all over social media. Okay. We warned people with the so-called Biden infrastructure bill, they're going to make roads very smooth. And you're going to have an African-American driving very fast. I'm getting emotional. We predicted this last week. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I wish I hadn't predicted this so perfectly, but I did. And all of a sudden you have an African-American driving through a nice white Christian Christmas. I mean, it couldn't be more what I predicted if I had written it myself. And he drove so fast and killed a lot of great white people and Christians, and it's a disgrace. And I blame Biden's infrastructure. We call it the infrastructure from hell. That's what Sleepy Joe's given us, infrastructure from hell. So now you might want to title the episode that. I see you're very excited. You look like Mike Pence when Freddie Mercury's on the TV. You got that kind of excited look on your face, tech stuff. But no, I gotta say, it's sad. This is what I predicted. And I think we're gonna have to really look at some of these Republicans who voted for the infrastructure, and I think the death is on their hands.
Now, Mr. President, you are a very smart businessman, and I want to put you in the shoes of Kyle Rittenhouse, aka Kyle Slaughterhouse, right now. If you were in his shoes, what would be your next move? How would you pivot from not guilty? Where would you go right now? Would it be book deal? Would it be TV appearances? Would it be selling interviews? Where would you go?
No, that's a good, and I'm actually, we're in talks for me to advise him for, a very reasonable 68%, 16, excuse me, 69% of his earnings. What I've told him is, first of all, he's got to look very carefully at this great scholarship offer he got from Idaho Militia Christian. They offered him
Mhm.
a free ride, a full ride to that great school. So, I think education is important. Of course, he might be in a position. I think he should write a book. There are people talk, and I think he should start a podcast. Killer Kyle, every Tuesday on Parlor and Getter. Listen to Killer Kyle talk about strong Second Amendment principles. So, no, I think there's a world of and I think he could do sort of podcasting and attend Idaho Militia Christian. So, I think, and they've actually said he might be the first recipient of the Donald J. Trump scholarship. So, which rewards one nice young white man who has avoided criminal liability before his 21st birthday. So it's a nice scholarship we've set up. And so I think if I were advising him right now, I would say go to Idaho Militia Christian. Also start the podcast. So you have that nice revenue stream coming in and you're building, it's called a brand, tech stuff. And, then he can work on the book a little later. But I think he's got a bright future. And I also advised him to lose a little weight because he's a little bit chubby and a whole lot of ugly.
I don't know how losing weight will help the ugly, but
Well, ugly and fat, skinny and ugly and fat and ugly. At least you're on the right path with the, sometimes you can get strong abs and like good fitness and women will forget, it's like if you see a woman with a great rack and a nice set of legs, you forget the fact that she looks like Mr. Ed. And I think he could maybe do the same if he gets himself in the gym, work on the other guns. Obviously keep your strong Second Amendment guns, but maybe work on the other guns too.
how about a YouTube channel teaching people how to shoot, going different places for target practice, how he became such a great marksman? That could also be a stream of revenue.
That's true. That's true. No, I think, obviously he's probably going to join social media and whatnot. So he could do YouTube, but I think the podcast would be very strong. I'm recommending podcast and Idaho Militia Christian.
Okay. Now, you also came out in the news recently saying that you saved Kenosha that night.
In the news, Mike.
That you save Kenosha after Jacob Blake was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse with all the riots going on, and you take credit for calling in the National Guard. Is that correct?
That is just tech stuff. Congratulations. You've introduced what are known as facts.
But the AP revealed that you never
Who's
called in,
the AP?
the Associated Press.
Never heard of them.
They said that you never called in the National Guard, but
Is that excuse me, is that even a real news? It sounds like a made up news organization from a movie. Like, hello, we're the Associated Press. We're the newspaper journal.
well, they said that Governor Tony Evers, Democrat, actually called in the National Guard, but you took credit for calling in the National Guard. Do you have any comments about that?
Yes, Tony Evers is a lying piece of shit. I called the National Guard. I got it done. End of story. I got it done. Okay. I got it done. Anthony Edwards, he did fine on ER and Top Gun. He died like a dog in Top Gun. You remember this? But I did it. And the Democrats, they can't give me credit for it. No, Mr. Troy, you didn't do it. Yes, I called the National Guard and I said, get your ass in there and start shooting people with this Kevin Slaughterhouse.
Anthony Edwards. Are you talking about the basketball player, Anthony Edwards?
You never
It,
saw you never saw Top Gun?
I have seen Top Gun before, but they're
Goose. His name was
yes,
Goose.
and
That's
Maverick.
Anthony.
Yes.
That's Anthony Edwards.
Well, there's a couple Anthony Edwards.
Well, I'm talking about the one that's first.
Okay.
I don't know. You're talking about basketball,
Hmm.
and I'm talking about Goose. Okay, who was one of our great patriot Air Force people. He's a pilot, a patriotic pilot.
When they make the Kyle Rittenhouse movie, who do you think should play Kyle Rittenhouse?
Honestly, Tiffany Trump. Look at them. They look like twins.
If Tiffany Trump fell in love with Kyle Rittenhouse and they got married, would you look at your daughter Tiffany Trump in a different light?
No, I would continue to look at her in the dark because she's too ugly to look at.
Would
I
you
have a
have
strict I have a strict rule with Tiffany.
a strict night
Lights
rule?
lights off when she walks in. And if it's during the day and the room is too well lit, we have the paper bag for Tiffany rule. She looks like Miley Cyrus came all over the face of Kyle Rittenhouse. That's basically what she looks like.
So it wouldn't change if she got involved with Kyle Rittenhouse.
It'd be sort of disgusting. He's 18 and she's, I don't even know, what is she, 22, 38? I don't know.
As I didn't see, has Donald Trump Jr., your son, tweeted about Kyle Rittenhouse? I'm sure he's right behind Kyle Rittenhouse. Have you spoken to him about this?
I don't speak to him because he's a coke fiend, but he's very supportive of Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's Don Jr. has been really wanting to, he hunts innocent animals. He's a very tough guy. He goes to, jungles and
Hunch
murders,
giraffes, yes.
murders animals, cuts them up. Very tough. But he said he wants to hunt people next. That's sort of the true sign of a powerful and wealthy person. So he's actually very jealous of Kyle Slaughterhouse because Don Jr. wants to hunt people.
Interesting. If you do run in 2024, is there a job for Kyle Rittenhouse? And what?
If
Yes, of course. What if is there a job for Kyle Rittenhouse in your administration, and what would be his position?
Well, I know Marjorie Taylor Greene has already said she wants to thank Kyle by allowing him to suck her dick.
That's
So
very
he
sweet
could
of
be
her.
he could be Marjorie Taylor Greene's fluffer. I think that's probably something he might be interested in.
To being the fluffer. Um,
And
well, I
Matt Gates says he wants to have he says he wants to mentor him like a Greek philosopher.
like Socrates and Plato. He wants to. Well,
He said he wants to mentor that young man like the ancient Greeks.
well, I'm now I'm scared for Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm actually feeling for him right now. That would not be a bright decision to do that. I would stay away from him for sure. You're a fan of that man?
Matt Gates is a very sleazy person who has done horrible things with young women, and he's probably my favorite person in Congress.
Could you see Kyle Rittenhouse eventually running for office and winning a position?
Not only could I see him running for office, I could see people chasing him and then him shooting them.
As he's running for office?
What a campaign ad.
Just running down the street, being scared and shooting people.
Right. I was scared I was going to lose the election, so I shot some voters.
If you're listening, it's a great commercial. Now, Mr. President,
He should, I think I've also advised him that he should do a very strong endorsement with Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin', and then, You know, you have him running through the street with an AR-15 going, oh no, they're almost out of pumpkin spice donuts. And then everybody online jumps out of the way. Like when he comes, they're like, there's only one more donut, sir. And then he shows up with his AR-15 and people are like, you can have it.
Like that.
But I am going to say one other thing about a sponsor that's technically not our sponsor, but I wanted to say one thing because we have all these deals coming soon, you know, with Black African American Friday. People in the video can see I'm not wearing the annoying stringy earbuds with the cord. These are the Raycon earbuds. I got them because now I have my new computer from Samsung. Okay, Samuel Sung sent me the new computer. It's working great. And unlike Adele's fat computer, even though she got skinny, this computer worked beautifully. So now I can use our beautiful sponsored Raycon earbuds. So what I'm telling people to do right now, if you need earbuds, if it's okay, if you don't need them, you don't need them. But if you're doing some shopping for people or for yourself, this week would be a perfect time. Our link is still up. If you go buyraycon.com/MPGA, you're still getting a beautiful discount on the earbuds on your order. So do it. And then maybe they'll look at us and say, whoa, Donald Trump is not racist. He had many sales on Black Friday.
That's right. So pick those up. Holidays coming up. Mr. President, for betonline.ag, I just want to see who you would pick for this Thursday. Do you like the Bears or the Lions?
Mike, the football teams. I'm actually going to go with the Lions.
The Raiders or the Cowboys?
Well, for many reasons, I go Cowboys. The Raiders, they fired their coach like a dog for total political correctness. And Jerry Jones is a strong friend of mine.
And the Bills or the Saints?
Oh, the Bills.
All right,
Just kidding. Not, excuse me. Don't you know your history? They refused to sell to me. They refused to, and they haven't won a Super Bowl. Isn't that a funny coincidence?
Mm-hmm.
They could have had like maybe 10 Super Bowls by now. No, I'm going with the Saints because I'm a strong Christian, and I hope that the Bills, I hope their stadium collapses on itself.
So it's the Lions, Cowboys, and Saints. Put your money
I
down
am going
this
to
Thanksgiving.
I am going to do a Thanksgiving parlay on betonline.ag, and I'm going to eat white meat, turkey white meat only, and a side order. Yeah, do you like my family does? Do you have a side order of McDonald's fries with your turkey?
No, we don't. We usually have mashed potatoes and some other stuff.
Well, too bad. I like to honor the pilgrims with what they ate. So I have
makes sense.
McDonald's apple pies, which have beautiful girthy tubes of apple pie. And then I have the fries and the turkey.
Never heard an apple pie described that way.
Well, have you ever seen the McDonald's apple pie?
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, I don't like apple pie. Not a fan. Not a fan of pies. Not a pie fan.
Now you're fired because that's about as un-American as.
Yep.
Maybe if this podcast was called "Making Terrorism Great Again," you'd fit in.
President, we have a few more stories to go over. Also, everyone check out the patreon.com/MPGA. We have the Eppies coming up this for December. Nominations will be announced at the beginning of December, and you will vote throughout middle December, and we will announce the winners on a special episode, and announcements coming soon next month. But also join up. Any level is good for you. We have movie reviews. We have bonus episodes, special guests, live Q&A episodes, patreon.com/MPGA. Tiffany, please quiet down. Now,
well, she didn't, that was her asking, Daddy, can I date Kyle Rittenhouse? And I said to her, don't call me Daddy.
Again, it's patreon.com/MPGA. Some more reviews and ratings coming in on iTunes. Guys, it's costs you nothing. It takes 2 minutes. Just go on there, leave a nice comment, and give us a 5-star review.
It's very simple. Do you love the show that we've been giving you very powerfully for years? Then leave a review. Do you really love the show? Join the Patreon and get all the stuff. I don't understand, to be honest, these people. The Patreon is, it's like the regular show is like a 4-year presidential term. Very nice. We do great things. The Patreon is like a lifetime presidency. Okay. That's how much more bonus and deluxe it is. And unlike this show, I don't keep it politically correct on the Patreon. We're very formal on this show. Very we only say nice things, but on the Patreon it gets very NC-17.
Well, we also have the bonus episode for December coming up is Hanukkah, which will be released next week. So join
Eight
up.
Nights of Shaka Khan.
That's right. Patreon.com/MPGA. Mr. President, there was a new round of subpoenas for the January 6th peaceful protests.
Subpoenas, Mike.
Two huge names, Roger Stone and Alex Jones, announced. Also,
Great
a
people,
woman by the name
people.
of Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence, the actress, is a part of this. I didn't even know that you were associated with her. That's very amazing.
She's ever since I hacked her phone to look at her nudes, she's been obsessed with me.
You were part
But
of the fappening.
we're more concerned. Obviously she's an attractive blonde. She's sort of radical left. She hangs out with Amy Schumer, so I'm not too interested in her. But I know that she wanted to date me for a long time, and I said, "Darling, no, thank you." But no, what's important is that patriots like Alex Jones, okay, is one of our great people. Remember, we talked about last week's episode, by the way, maybe the most important episode in the history of this podcast, maybe in the history of all podcasts. We talked Samsung. We talked very strongly about Sandy Hook. And you heard me. I didn't go easy on Alex Jones just because he's a friend and a supporter. We went very tough on him, but I think he understands my position now that Sandy Hook was a nice and talented, hardworking lady. We had to murder her for lying about birth control. But the point is, Alex Jones is a great patriot, and I have no fear that he's going to do anything to hurt me. And Roger Stone. You think Roger Stone is afraid of the January 6th committee? You think Liz Cheney and these people can? This guy has parties every week where his beautiful, very strong Christian wife has trains run on her. And I'm not talking about, like motorized trains. I'm talking about groups of large men destroying her. So do you think that, and Roger Stone sits in the corner with his bowler hat and his glasses, drinking tea, jerking himself off while his wife gets destroyed? And she's no spring chicken. I mean, she is. You think it's impressive what Tom Brady's doing in the NFL at 42? Roger Stone's wife is like in her 60s and getting, there are porn stars who watch what she goes through on a weekly basis at his parties who say, I don't know how she does it. How is she still alive? So if Roger Stone, a patriot,
Still alive.
Roger Stone, a great patriot, a great husband, a great Christian, if he can endure that, you think the January 6th commission is going to get him to talk? I don't think so.
Let's say he doesn't talk, gets convicted, because there is some evidence against him, let's just say, and then Roger Stone goes to prison. Will these parties still exist with his wife?
Oh, sure.
Considering
No,
Roger Stone is away.
Well, because of the technology now, with Zoom and everything. No, we'll just put a little little tablet, like a nice little tablet in Roger Stone's jail cell, and we'll set up, HD multi-camera shoot, so that he can still experience it. It'll be like that's his version of a conjugal visit.
Okay, so you're still going to make it happen if he goes to prison. Now, Mr. President, this January 6th committee doesn't seem to make you nervous, and I want to know what you think of this man, Sean Parnell.
A great talented guy, going to be a senator from Ohio. I strongly endorsed him. Just one of our great talents and a great patriot, strong supporter of me. So I think he's exactly what the great Trump state of Ohio
I
needs.
think it's Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I think.
That's what I said.
Yes. Um, Now, I think he just dropped out because he recently got divorced, lost custody of his children, and there are domestic abuse allegations against him.
Okay, so I'm hearing great things so far. Now, what's the negative? And by
It's
the
the
way, tech stuff. By the way, it's
yes.
he's running in Pennsylvania, not Ohio. So you were wrong on that.
Okay, my apologies. So he's still a great man for losing custody of his children and
You know how
possibly
long I've been
beating his
trying to lose.
wife.
You know how long? Well, get a divorce. That's
You're a strong man, Mr. Trump, but you do not lay a hand on a woman. I don't think you ever
no.
would.
I get divorced. Well, okay. Other than the Fred Trump traditions, obviously,
Of
but
course.
that's not in anger. I don't. I never hit a woman in anger. If she's witnessed a crime, or if she's lied about her birth control, then you deal with things in a business-like manner,
Hmm.
but not never in that, never, you don't strike a woman out of like to beat her up. But occasionally, you have to throw a prostitute overboard in the ocean, which is, that's not domestic violence, that's called business.
Mhm.
With a great friend Parnell, I think uh, what did you say he did?
Um, he possibly beat the shit out of his wife, and he lost custody of his children in this
Okay, well, the
divorce.
losing custody of his children, that's actually called a smart move because now instead of looking like it's a clever move because instead of looking like, oh, you're a deadbeat father, now he's going, I can't hang out with my kids. The law. I obey the law and order. So instead, now he has to go and have sex with single young women and enjoy his life. So I think he was just accused. I think it was all part of a genius plan to get rid of his kids. I don't think he was abusive. I think he's just a very smart guy. I wish I had thought of that. You think I'd have Eric and Don Jr. around if I had thought of that plan?
But the bottom line is that he might have beat up his wife. That's the reason why he's not seeing his kids.
Ex-wife, right?
Yeah, ex-wife. But
Well, okay, so it's not really.
he was when they were married, he was beating her up. It's not like they got divorced and then he started beating her up.
Do you know that? Maybe he
Well,
was. Maybe she came over to the house after they were divorced, and he got scared and did self-defense.
the old scared self-defense move. That is a possibility. I didn't even think of that, and I'm sure his lawyers are thinking about that right now. So that is a good angle, a good point, and it's worked in the court of law before. So why can't it work again?
We're with you, Parnell. We wish you a lot of luck in the great state of Wyoming.
Now, Mr. President, the last story I want to talk to you about tonight, uh, before we get into the Lincoln Project, what do you think of the Lincoln Project?
Well, Lincoln was a very overrated president, and some say he was gay. And I think the Lincoln Project is, I guess it's nice if African Americans want to live in a place named after the guy who freed them. The Lincoln Project. I'm sure it's probably tough. I wouldn't want to live in a project, but it's okay. It makes sense, that they would live in a housing place named after Abe Lincoln. So, I think hopefully one day they have the Trump Project where poor people who only make like, $250,000 a year can live and feel embraced by their president.
The Lincoln Project isn't projects. It isn't uh, housing in the hood. It is basically a movement against you, the Lincoln Project. When you were running for reelection, the Lincoln Project was attempting to make you lose, and which did happen eventually. And the
Which obviously, and they failed,
right,
because
yes, they failed.
excuse me, I actually won. I won very,
Mhm.
nobody ever saw a win like that. And that's why we had great patriots on January 6th, peacefully protesting. Who killed Ashley Babbitt? Who killed Ashley Babbitt? We got to find that out. We got to find that out one day.
Well, the Lincoln Project, they are anti-Trump, and the co-founder, Rick Wilson, is encouraging you to run in 2024. He wants you to run in 2024. Do you know why he wants you to run in 2024?
Because he's going broke and he needs me, like all these people who made so much money off of me and they pretend to hate me, but they're living in beautiful homes paid for by Trump content.
He actually thinks that you and DeSantis will implode the Republican Party because you two will go after each other so much, competing for to who is the Republican running for president, that you will dismantle the party and a Democrat will win because of the show that you two will put on.
Listen to me right now, and I have respect for Rick DeSanchez, but he can't beat me. He can't beat me, and he has no shot. And I think he knows that. And if he's smart, which I think he is, he'll sit this one out and he'll, if he's lucky, I could pick him as my VP and he could be the 2028 nominee.
So with that, let's say he came to you and said, I am going to run for president.
Came to me, Mike, to me.
I'm going to run in 2024. Would you offer him that deal and say, listen, be my VP, get rid of Pence, and then I'm going to win 2024 and 2028. Then I'm going to pass the baton to you. Would that be a deal that you would offer him?
I would talk to some of my close advisors and it's on the table, but I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen. Tech stuff.
Okay.
I am not announcing that I am running
Mhm.
for federal election reasons. But if I run, my VP is going to be a tall, sexy smoke show, not you, Tiffany, named Ivanka Trump. And it's going to be Trump 2024.
Wow.
And it's going to be a beautiful thing. And she is going to wear she is going to be wearing some form-fitting stuff. And the temperature is always going to be about 42 degrees in every room we walk into. And as I say this the week of Thanksgiving, the turkeys will definitely be done.
So you're saying you will be getting rid of Mike Pence?
For
Does he know-
somebody who likes dick a little bit less, Ivanka Trump.
Does Pence know this?
No, he doesn't, but he'll find out via tweet.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
technically not a tweet. He'll find out on Parler. We don't call them tweets there. We call them sexual assaults.
But having Mike Pence on your team, you had the religious right in your pocket. Having
And
Ivanka.
Okay, tech
Yes.
stuff. Do you not realize that the religious right, they're not just in my pocket, they're in my underwear jerking me off. Okay, Mike Pence got them in my pocket. I've got them sucking on my tip. Okay, so I don't really need Mike Pence anymore. So we're gonna get Ivanka to get all the incels. They're gonna be beating off at my rallies, looking at Ivanka. So Trump 2024. That's what it's gonna be.
You wouldn't bring your crush on? What's her name?
Boebert?
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert. Well, no, Lauren Boebert is potentially Trump wife number 4.
Ah.
You can't have she's got to know her place. She can be the first fourth lady, but she can't be the VP.
The divorce has to happen though in the next year or so, because
No,
you wouldn't have
you
it.
See, no, you don't know anything. We're gonna do it at a rally.
Divorce Melania at a rally.
I'm going to serve melatonin with divorce papers at a rally. And then little Bobert's going to like come from behind the podium where it's revealed that she's been blowing me the whole speech.
The podium goes transparent and you just see her down
No,
there.
the door will swing open like on the podium and people will be like, it's Bobert. And that's how we'll announce that we are in a relationship while melatonin looks at the divorce papers. And Ivanka will be my running mate, and it will be a very powerful 2024 campaign.
That really sounds like something to look forward to. Mr. President, always a pleasure. Thank you for spending every week with us and including the bonus episodes. To all our listeners, join the Patreon, guys. We got the Hanukkah episode coming out next week. Also, Epi announcements on the Patreon. So patreon.com/MPGA. Binge hours and hours and hours of bonus episodes with special guests, traditions.
And treat yourself like this. It's the holiday season, so a little secret is that you could just join for a month for $10 and you could literally listen to, like 7 months worth of content.
Yeah, basically. 3 years of bonus material for
right.
Yeah. So check it out. Patreon.com/MPGA. Epi's coming up. Also, thanks to everyone who has checked out my special already. If you haven't, please check it out. It's on Amazon, Vimeo, YouTube, all video on demand, something from nothing. Few fans came out last weekend in Jersey. Good seeing everyone there. And come on out to the Comedy Zone in Harrisburg on December 3rd and 4th, Comedy Zone in Harrisburg, PA, and in Binghamton at Waterman's on December 10th. That is all I got. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's JL. First big announcement, if you're still listening, the Righteous PK podcast is back after a 3-week break for mental health and computer malfunctions and other things. So the podcast is back. The first new episode went up today as I'm saying this. And then as far as shows go, December 9th, Pittsburgh, December 16th to the 18th, DC Improv, January 7th through 8th, Harrisburg Comedy Zone, January 27th, Chicago Improv, February 2nd, San Jose Improv, February 6th, Flappers in Burbank, California, and then trying to line something up for February 10th in Salt Lake City when I will be there for a series of Utah Jazz games. So that's it. We appreciate you listening as always. And seriously, if you're still listening, if you've got no money, give us a 5-star review on Apple. But if you got some money and you like this show, I'm telling you, it ain't charity. The Patreon is really just like even a cut above what you already like. So just this Black Friday or this December, treat yourself to a month of it and see what you like, and maybe you'll stick with it. So we appreciate your support as always. Hope you're enjoying the show, and God help us all.